Hello, beautiful people. I'm Crystal with Whole New Perspective. Welcome to my channel. Guys, I have been busy canning. Now is a really good time to get deals on turkey. Not only turkey, but celery, onions, carrots, everything I need to make myself some good turkey soup. And that's what I have behind me. I'll show you just a little bit of that. I make this quite often, so I do have a video where I share that. Now, I made it in quarts and pints. I also made stock. I had some ham stock in my freezer, and so I decided to go ahead and get that out and jar that up as well. I am in the jarring up phase right now, and I want to share what I'm going to be canning right now. But guys, before I do that, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. All you need to do is just click that subscribe button down below. And guys, please give this video the thumbs up. So listen, what I am going to be making today is peach jelly. Now, if you can recall, earlier in the year, probably a couple months ago, I purchased some peaches. I froze peaches, I canned peaches. I also made some peach butter, and I canned that. And what I did with the peelings was I froze it. And I froze it until I had the time to go ahead and get started on this jelly. And now is the time. So what I did yesterday was I went ahead and made my jelly. What I did yesterday was I went ahead and I made my juice. So I'll go ahead and share that video now. These are just the frozen peelings. All I'm going to do now is just fill this with water and just bring it up to a boil, and I'll just let it simmer for a while. This is roughly 2 quarts of peach juice. Now I can strain it again, and I might, but this is really just for me and my family. I'm not selling it, so if there's some peach, a little bit of peaches in it, doesn't bother me at all. So then all I'm going to do, guys, is I'm just going to follow this ball canning book. I'm going to follow this ball canning book, and I'll just tell you what it calls for. I am on page 111, and I have my juice already measured and on the stove. So let me just read it. 3 cups of peach juice, a half cup of lemon juice, 1 package of regular powdered fruit pectin, 5 cups of granulated sugar. Now, I'm going to go ahead and double this recipe, and I'll share it with you when I get over to my stove. And there is a tip, that tip, that's one of the things I like about this book. It does have the tips. I shared it with you before when I made jelly. But guys, what I'm going to do is to reduce the foam, you add a half a teaspoon of butter before you bring it to a boil. So make sure you do that, and that will help you keep that foam down, because that is one of the things you need to scrape the foam off the top. But if this helps, and it does, I did this with some watermelon jelly that I made over the summer. This will help keep that foam away, and you're able to go ahead and have some beautiful looking jelly. Most of the traditional jellies can be made the same, so just follow the directions that you have in your book, and then I'll follow the steam canners, and you use it just as you would the water bath canner. And the reason that I'm heating up these jars is because I'm going to have a very hot liquid, and so you don't want to put a very hot liquid into room temperature jars. You want them to be hot too, because you don't want them to break. So that's why I'm going to do that. Now, let's get started making this. I'm going over to the stove and go ahead and get everything going, okay? So guys, the juice is in here, the peach juice, the lemon juice, the butter, and the pectin. I'm just stirring it now, whisking it to ensure that all of the pectin is dissolved. I believe that it is. And so now I'm just going to let it come to a boil. I probably need to turn up my heat a little bit. I need it to come to a boil, and then I'm going to dump all of my sugar in here at once. I don't know if you can see that, but it is now boiling. It's time for me to go ahead and put my sugar in. So guys, my sugar is in now. All I'm going to do is get it dissolved and then bring this back up to a boil. I'm going to let it boil rapidly where I can't stir it down. Let it go for a minute. But guys, I'm just going to follow the instructions in the book. So that's what I'm doing. And it's going to move pretty quickly once it comes to a boil. Now I have it ready to go. I'm just going to take my jars out, move this to the back. Take my jars out and then I'll just start loading it up. Now guys, I like to use an old towel because I usually end up spilling a lot of whatever I'm canning onto it. So I'm gonna get going. This does tend to set up pretty good, so it's not setting up yet because I did do a double batch probably, but it will set up. I'm pretty confident that it will. Just wanted to verify you leave 1/4 of an inch head space. So that's about 1/2 of an inch. It's about 1/4 of an inch head space. You can see how hot this is. It's pretty. It is definitely peachy. I don't know if the camera shares or shows the pretty color. Just a little more. So guys, I have these 3 complete. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get some vinegar and I'm going to go around the rims because this is sticky. Didn't get any on there, which is good, but you still good practice to just go ahead and make sure. And then I'm just going to put the lids on. And my rings. This is pretty hot. Then I'm just going to go ahead and you want it to be fingertip tight, okay? Fingertip tight. So then I'm going to go ahead and set this in the steam canner. So guys, that's what this process is, and I'm just going to continue to fill up my jars. Once I finish, I'm just going to put my lid on and I'm going to allow it to process for 10 minutes once it comes into the green. And I'll show you that with this steam canner. I'll show you what I mean by when it comes into the green, okay? Okay guys, my canner is full. I have 12 jars in. Now I'm just going to put my lid on it and let it begin to process. I'm going to turn it up, then I'll bring you closer and show you the top of the lid. I'm going to get this on and I'll still continue to talk. I like to put my steam so that it is going out the back. I'm going to turn this up as I talk. You know, I get a lot of questions most times when I'm canning about what I'm canning on because you don't see me over at my stove, and I forget that sometimes because this is just how I can. This is a Cadco hot plate. It's a cast iron hot plate, And I do have it linked below as well, or I have it listed below with some of the things that I use in the canning process. But I can with this all the time. I cook on it, just different ways that I can cook and can without using my stove. Now I do have a smooth top stove, and some of you can actually pressure can on your smooth top stoves, but I do not pressure can. I just don't want to take that chance of doing that and breaking my stove. And so when I started canning, I wanted to find a different way. And so I did a lot of research, and I ended up purchasing this Cadco hot plate. And as I said, it is cast iron, and I've been canning on it well over 10 years. And if you've been following me, you know that I purchased a second one as a backup, but sometimes I use it also when I want to do both or when I want to can a lot, I use it also. So right now I'm just going to let this come up to the green. I'll share that with you, and once it gets there to where I'm canning on for my location, and then you'll see steam coming out, then I'll go ahead and set my timer for 10 minutes. But again, I use a fruit saver, so just follow the instructions, whether you're water bath canning or you're steam canning. Just follow the instructions for what you're using. But it will can for 10 minutes, or it will go for 10 minutes. And after that 10 minutes, I'm just going to turn off the stove, and I'll let it sit for additional 5 minutes before I take the lid off. But I'll bring you back throughout the process, but it's really just that simple, guys. So I have the Fruit Saver steam canner, and that's what I'm following. I'm not sure if you're able to see the steam. Can you see it? There you go. So the steam is coming out now. So then I'm just going to show you what I was talking about. It's in the green, and it's actually where I need it to be for me to start my canning process. So I'm going to go ahead and start processing for 10 minutes. Okay, it has finished processing, and it's set for 5 minutes. So guys, just remember, whenever you're removing your lids, to move it away from you so the steam does not go into your face. You all hear that? These things are sealing already. Pretty. So now all I'm going to do is just go ahead and take them out and let them sit up. I'll let them sit up overnight. Then tomorrow I'll just go ahead and wash them up. This is a project that I am so glad to have out of the way, and it certainly did clear up a good amount of freezer space for me. I have really been jarring things up this year. I'm in December, and I am at the very end. I have several more things that I want to jar up, so I'll bring you along with me as part of my hashtag Jarred Up 2023. I cannot wait until 2024 to jar up more things. This really has been great. I think that I'll do a video to show you everything that I've jarred up this year. Listen, leave me some comments below. Let me know what things you are still jarring up the rest of this year, and if you have your goals already for next year, okay? So thank you guys so much for coming along with me as I shared how I jarred up this peach jelly.